y'all. I know y'all can't see me this good that good. It's not that light over here, but so I'm adjusting myself in the chair. So I know I've been told this pretty much all my life that you know, and I know been the big talk of what people been telling me, you know, especially lately about me being worried about what other people think of me. And it seemed like people got frustrated with me and I lost friends, you know, of people say I worry so much about what other people think. But I start to wonder, you know, is it, I mean, I'm 36 years old and I know I still have a lot of childlike qualities, being disabled and being overly sheltered in a cult. I mean, not right now, but the foster mom abused us and put us in a cult and had us overly sheltered and didn't allow us to have much of a social life. And then me growing up so much, always being punished, you know. And so it's like whenever, and I'm 36 years old, still getting punished, even by people younger than me, you know. I never thought I would dream of living a life where a 14-year-old child, teenager child, will have the authority to and the so be given the so-called authority and right to inflict punishment on me. I mean, I've been in situations where 10-year-old kids were allowed to be in charge and can, you know, dictate or control how many hamburgers I should have, you know. And so it all started from, you know, at me after I turned 18 and me still being abused in foster care. And after I turned 18, the abuse got worse. So all these times people have inflicted punishment on me, and it happens so much that people punish me or do hurtful things to me or think, you know, according to what their opinion is about me, you know. So I mean, there were times where I have been, you know, wrongfully kicked out or banned from places or missed out on certain opportunities in life, once in a lifetime kind of opportunities in life based on other people's opinions about me, you know. If I mean, I have to deal with what, you know, what business owners and employers or managers think about me, that I'm sitting here homeless because of other people's opinions about me. Like, if the landlord doesn't want me to rent that place at a certain apartment or house or whatever, or aren't they taking action based on their opinion or what they think of me? Or an employer that, you know, I end up not getting the job because, and I know, I guess other people, I guess a lot of us, you know, have to quote unquote suffer, you know, like have sufferings based as a result of other people's opinion about them. But it's, you know, it seems like, you know, people, other professed targeted individuals got on my case and got mad at me, and you know, for being, you know, I've been gang stalked with the motorcycles. You know, they, like other targeted individuals get mad at me for expressing that I feel hurt about receiving so many thumbs down on my videos and wonder why other targeted individuals, why they're so popular and well liked, and why I'm still so single, lonely, and isolated, even being targeted, you know, that me feeling hated, either by other professed targeted individuals, me being hated and rejected, but especially for no reason. And, you know, there were numerous. Remember, I think I may have done videos not on an isolated topic, but just in general. I thought I may have recently, within the past few days, mentioned about how in New Orleans, growing up, New Orleans black families. I don't probably in other cities and states too. I think I saw it happen in Los Angeles too. I eyewitnessed. Was it in Los? It was in yeah, in Los Angeles, and I think here in Pensacola too, where people would see that's freaking ridiculous. And within all those many motorcycles, yeah, that was actually at least. I mean, I saw at least 6 to 8 people on the motorcycle, and then at least at first I thought it was two, but it was like at least 3 or 4 of them wearing red. um, and then earlier today was you know, a motorcycle. I mean, it was a red moped, and it was a white man sitting there studying me and just watching me while I'm walking. And then they had like gang stalking person on a white motorcycle, and the female was riding behind the male, and she was it was a blonde haired white female, and she was filming me. So you don't think I'm not saying that everybody must worry about what other people think about them, but I'm just saying like all this suffering that we have as us being targeted, like the suffering we have to go through is you know because of people's judgment against us, you know, and all the torment and torture and trauma and abuse that I've been through growing up, that everybody else can be free to express their. Come on. I mean, everybody can be free to express whatever traumas they had suffered. But me, my childhood traumas are, what's the word I'm looking for? Um, Trying to look for a certain word. Um, but it's basically made to, I guess, minimize. Um, that my traumas is minimized the right word? That is made to. It's like people make it like as if the traumas and abuse that I've gone through is made to look. People make it like as if me expressing what I went through is that the events happening in my life were just trivial, trivial or petty or something like that. But the idea of, I mean, I really thought that once I broke away from the foster mom, that the trauma and abuse would end, and not only end, not only just end with her, but I thought it would end with everybody in my life. And I thought that I would once I turn 18 that I can make my own decisions and control and direct my own path in life and be successful at it. I'm growing up, you hear all these lies about people saying you can do anything you put your mind to, and nothing's impossible and stuff like that. You can do anything you want. You can do anything you put your mind to. Not in my case. Even though I have been told that, but not in my case. Because if I can do anything I put my mind to, I could have been that obstetrician gynecologist that I wanted to be. Or I could have been that Spanish language translator and interpreter. See, they're using the noise harassment with the motorcycles. I don't know why they're picking on me with motorcycles. I haven't heard much of the ambulance today. So I guess they switched out from the ambulance to the motorcycle harassment now. I always correlate motorcycles with Satanism after I found out about the Illuminati, and they say that whore Beyonce, I'm calling her whore Beyonce, with you know riding a motorcycle. These celebrities in the motorcycles is. I heard some people say motorcycles represent Baphomet. So but anyway, it's okay for celebrities. Everybody has their outpouring love and compassion for the celebrities who, they stuff, not only celebrities, but some other people too, they stuff their repeated childhood traumas that they went through. They hold it in for years, and then as an adult, like the celebrities will talk about it on a talk show, and then everybody encourages them. But when it's somebody who's considered like like me, who's the world would view as a nobody, my situation, it's not that important. You know, so it's it's like I've dealt with a lot of suffering and hurt based on other people's opinions about me, or if they feel like I should, and it's like narcissistic abusers. It's the way that they tell me to not worry about what. It's like as if they want me to don't worry about what anybody else thinks except what they themselves think about me. You know, it seems like, oh, don't worry about, like they indirectly try to say like, don't worry about them, but just focus on me. That's what they be trying to indirectly try to tell me. Don't focus on them, just only worry about me. But it's like they tell me, you know, and they're like, what? And then cut that. It's like, why do you worry about what people say about you? Like aggressively demand the answer with vicious hate, anger. Why do you care about what people think about you? Like, but then they themselves have a certain opinion about me, and it's like, but they're so coercive. Like, if I go to the store and shop with them, and there's Evian water, for example, and Aquafina, and if I say, well, I don't like, you know, I, if they both cost the same price, and I go to grab an Evian water, and I'm sorry, I go to grab an Aquafina water, and they're like, what? No, that don't make no sense. Now, why would you want to grab an Aquafina water when you can get the Evian? Now, like, well, they the same price and the same size, same amount. So, you know, like, it's like and then they ostracize and shame and bully and guilt me into buying the Evian water like they want me. So I'm just using that as an example. You know, I mean, also, the idea of me supposedly still acting like a child because I've been treated like a child all my life and abused by various people in different cities and states, not allowed any rights. So, um, people wonder why I still have like childlike demeanor. you know, and then I don't have much of a social life. I stay to myself, and before the targeting thing, now I guess I have one or two people I can talk to, but on the phone. But before then, I started to wonder, what's the point of me even having a phone? I had no social life and nobody to talk to. But it's a shock to me. I mean, to me, I feel like it's too good to be true. And then, being told all my life is nobody cares about you, nobody cares about you, nobody cares about you, all like a broken record that nobody cares about and me talking about how the foster mom would say that the biological parent didn't want me, and then when I experienced that they didn't want me for real, and so you know it's like narcissistic abusers feel like only their opinions should matter to their victim. So then, even when other professed targeted individuals try, because narcissistic abusers try to tell me what I should focus on, or what I should do, or what to do, or what I should think about, or whatever. And so when people tell me, or when they ask, why do you worry about what other people think? That triggers me, and it re-traumatizes me all over again, because narcissistic abuse, not just the foster mom, but other narcissistic fake control freak friends in my life have oh hell no, they have you know I mean, it's triggered, it nagged my conscience and made me feel like I did something wrong, you know about people tell me I shouldn't be worried about having friends, or that I shouldn't worry about how many subscribers, be so worried about how many subscribers I have or how many thumbs down I get. Um, but it seemed like they can, and it's like I feel like the reason why they telling me not to worry, because it's not happening to them. I mean, if if the person who has like 12,000 subscribers and can have a very social life and delusionally believe they're a thug or whatever, and it's like they feel like they're on top of the world. I mean, like it's like you say you targeted, but then you pop one of the popular ones, and it's like you think you're better because 800 people come into your YouTube live or whatever, and so then you know it's like the idea. All me and my twin sister. I guess my twin sister she got her acceptance now. So, but me and my twin sister growing up, we used to struggle to fight to want to be accepted by people. But it's like I hate people saying a condemning and punishing way about me being worried about what other people think about me, and it make me feel like I did something wrong. And then I mean, I was just reading a little bit tonight that growing up with narcissistic abuse, excuse me, growing up with narcissistic abuse, being a victim of narcissistic abuse, um, and having complex PTSD. And you know how they always make you doubt yourself and make you constantly worried about yourself or obsessed about yourself. You're like, I don't even sometimes I don't even have to say anything. It's like, yeah, I'm 36 years old, and it seems like my every move and my every breath is ostracized, judged, and condemned. And it's like I'm all these people who glorify themselves as being superior or act like they think they have more common sense than I do. you know. So it's like I'm more so hurt because the idea that we're all supposed to be targeted and we can't band together. And a lot of us targeted individuals talk about this, but I kind of see why though. Why we can't band together. Um, and I wonder if it's a spiritual component too. Like if other people say that they're targeted and part of 144,000, but we might have a difference in spiritual beliefs or something like that, you know, or if somebody is practicing the occult, but yet they say they're targeted. And I'm like, well, that might be one of the reasons why me and that person can't get along. Then y'all hear all the motorcycles. Oh, I'm sorry, I kind of got off track, being distracted. But um, so it's like I was trying to say that person with the 12,000 subscribers and then have like 800 people go in their YouTube live, but then that same person with that many subscribers would condemn me and tell me not to worry about what people giving me a thumbs down. I'm like, well, it ain't happening to that person, but I'm like, I bet you that if you were like me and had only 167 subscribers or 166 subscribers and losing subscribers or not having many people, I bet you will humble yourself, you know. But it's like easier for somebody to tell you to get over something when they're not going through it. If they're not suffering that problem. But one thing that gets me is if you, like, say for example, if you've been a victim of rape before and then tell me get over the rape or that I'm not a victim or that I put myself in a position and allow myself to be raped and I'm not a victim or what I went through was not rape. So I mean, how could you tell me that if you've been through the same thing or the idea that we're all targeted, we all have, even if it's, we all have something that bothers us. So if somebody giving me the thumbs down bother me and hate me, but then the one headlight or color harassment might bother you, or of noise harassment bother me, but the directed conversation might bother you, or the vibrating bothers me, but then the V2K bothers you, you know. So I mean, just because something, I mean, some people say that I don't know about other people, but some people say with this targeting that I shouldn't worry or I shouldn't feel down or I shouldn't react unless they're putting their hands on me. It's like freaking high school bullying all over again. To ignore them unless they're putting their hands on me. I'm like, so I'm supposed to allow them to cheat me again. You know, you give me a half a cup of grits. I mean, a half a bowl of grits because of what you think about me, and therefore I have to suffer and be cheated and scammed out my money because of what you think about me, and therefore I have to be hurt. And then you think you have the authority when you're just an employee and not the boss. You're a part-time employee who think you have the authority to dictate how much. And you don't do that to any other customer that comes there, you know. Or another targeted individual would be like, "Well, you stupid for keep going there. Why you keep going there?" You know. But I would go to a different place and experience the same things. A place I've never been. But I mean, it's like you see how the targeted people, like what the example I just gave, how they kick. It's like they kick you down even harder. You know, I mean, and the same people who tell me don't worry about what other people think about you, but then those same people be like begging me like like hyperventilating and over exaggerating fake crying. So I'm please, I'm not a perp. And then they go into a whole crying fit. But after you just freaking told me, don't worry about what other people think about me, and then you turn. I'm sorry, my head is itching. But after you just got finished telling me that I'm childish or I shouldn't worry about what other people think about me, but then you begging me, please, I'm not a perp. I had quite a few people done that to me, you know. So I mean, I'm just to me that's the biggest mind fuck that I'm targeted and can't relate to other targeted people. If we all supposed to be 100 part of 144,000 people, which I don't believe that because I don't think I'm special, one of the special ones. I don't. You know why? Because I get how I get treated. But you know, I mean, me being left out of a lot of family functions and being treated bad by foster and biological family. But the author's not your daddy because you're not light skinned like him. So then they formulate a certain opinion and have a certain hatred and treat me a certain way and pick arguments and fights with me and make jail threats and make threats to have me locked up in a mental institution. Or that my own family member set up a scenario where they pick an argument with me for an excuse to cause me to have a panic attack so they can get me locked up in a mental institution, try to set me up to get locked up in a mental institution and stuff like that. You know, I lost out on a lot of money because of other people's opinion about me. Yeah, being used and taken advantage of growing up. And then, some people say that, I mean, I had two strokes when I was 5. And some people say that, that I'm considered like an empath, you know, and that might be why I'm so hypersensitive, you know. But then if I worry about something bad that somebody did to somebody else and I try to defend that person, I get told, mind your business and don't worry about them and worry about yourself. You know, if I try to defend, you know, a friend. So, um, it's like my own twin sister is punishing me because of what she thinks and her opinion about me. You know, that I'm crazy. Lives have been destroyed based on other people's opinion. I think you should take this vaccine. Here's these pills. I think you have depression. Why don't you take this Xanax or something like that, you know? So I mean, and then like people lives been y'all hear that, huh? I'm sorry, uh, they're doing this on purpose. So basically, they're riding around the complex with their motorcycles. I get it, you know. So I guess they're gonna do this all freaking night, all night. They just freaking got here. I guess they're doing it on purpose, yeah, because their opinion is that I have no business being here, that I should not be here, and that they want me on the streets. But I'm supposed to be here until Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. that I just have enough money until then. And I've been using a little money to eat with too, you know, with my meals, with Dollar Tree, and then I went to fake Walmart today. I just got what I needed and hurry up and got out of there. You know, I mean, Publix is a little bit farther walk. No, a nice farther walk. But Publix is more expensive. If there was a Winn Dixie, I probably would have shopped there. Because almost like half the store at Winn Dixie, they switch it up, but at Winn Dixie, almost half the store is everything buy one get one free. So, you know, they have people who, you know, it's like I was punished from prom and like my senior, well, all proms every year, punished from all proms, and certain enjoyable life experiences I missed, like enjoyable social life experiences I missed out on because of the foster mom and other people's opinions about me. You know, so speaking of that, I'm going to end this video by putting in the description box um a blog I did last night of me talking about the author's not your daddy issue, and it shows pictures of me and some of my family members, and y'all get to see that one picture I have of the foster mom, and if you want to, and it's not to promote or show off my blog, but it's just, I've said, and I heard it's an OCD trait too. To constantly be worried about what others. I mean, it's come on. Well, anxiety and worry, period. But the idea of extreme trauma, going through extreme trauma, um, I heard it can make like somebody has like a broken soul, more like a fractured soul that they need the puzzles pick back up. But I know, but people use the weapon. I mean, they use the Bible as a weapon to attack you rather than words of encouragement. They find the ways to use the Bible to attack you and kick you down. Like Philippians 4:8. Um, this narcissistic, abusive, fake hypocrite, I call her crusty man dyke, folks. She's like, her real name is Pat Horton, like Patricia Horton, and she was the next door neighbor in Los Angeles, one of the fake crusty dirty neighbors. And she reminds me. She look kind of like Whoopi Goldberg, but talks and act like the foster mom, um and so she try to, like, let me read to y'all what Philippians 4:8 says. So, and I know I'm still having a hard time with transforming with the renewing of my mind. Let me see Philippians 4:8. Hold up. Um, Philippians 4:8 says, yeah, with finally, brother, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. So, but then that lady, that neighbor, attacked me with this scripture and condemned me about worrying about what other people think about me. But she was one of those people who felt like, don't worry about what anybody else thinks about you, but only worry about what I think about you. That's her. She was one of those type of people with that attitude, you know. So how you use a Bible scripture that's supposed to be positive and use that to attack me, you know, and it's like I'm emotionally hypersensitive and also like hypersensitive ears and my eyes are hypersensitive to bright light. I don't know whether well, I mean my smell is kind of improving a little bit, but generally and normally, um, my smell I guess is normal. I wouldn't say it's like that. I had a smell of a bloodhound, but certain smells make me sick or whatever, or But I remember in 2017, in 2017 it's freaking ridiculous. You know what? They should be reported because what they're doing is they're blocking me from having that promise of peaceful and quiet enjoyment. There should be a noise complaint made about them. And I bet you they probably don't even live here. They probably don't even live here. It's a fucking shame. Sorry. you know, but I mean, now I forgot what I was trying to say. See, that's so evil. They distract me on purpose and cause me to forget what I had to say. You know, I mean, so um, yeah, it's like all these narcissistic abusers who always talk mean to me and tell me that nobody care about you or that nobody's gonna hire you for a job or you wonder why you have no friends. And then they say that I'm negative energy draining and complain too much and that I need to learn how to think positive and be positive. But then they're the ones always tearing me down, you know. And the professed target, and yeah, and they've been using their cell phone ringtone. Like wait till this the third time this happened. They wait till they get near my room door and their phone. Now they're talking loud in the hallway. you know. Oh yeah, I was talking about see, this is the devil. This they got worse after I read the Bible scriptures. Like when they standing outside in the hallway talking loud. So oh yeah, I was saying hypersensitive. All my sense, even hypersensitive to touch. So it's like they're evil. They're wrong for this. Why are they watch? If I go outside, they're probably gonna go back inside. Yeah. So it's one lady talking to the lady next that come from across the hall, talking to the lady next door, and they're talking loud on purpose. You know. So what I was trying to say was, and I really think they're perps too. No, so I think that the lady with the See, they're talking loud and distracting me on purpose. um, so it's like everything about me is hypersensitive, and people. Let me hold up. Let me. I guess I'll put these in so I can concentrate. See that? Y'all can hear that. And sometimes that's what these perps do. They'll do something like, you know, talk loud around you, like get near you and talk loud around you. And then when you go outside to see who that is, then they get mad. You know, like as if they do it on purpose just to get you to react for so that they can artificially fake a moment where they're just mad. See, I mean, and they're grown ass adults. Like, and then when I go outside, then they will make it look like as if I'm the one who's perping them. You know, but they with all this activity, I have and people I'm as I said, you know, some people suggest that I might have Asperger's syndrome. You know, uh, that you know like between the loud motorcycles and what they did was hurt my ears and gave now it's like my ears are hurting. I have a nauseating headache. How can you ignore that and be unbothered by that? And you know, somebody who try to play psych games will be like, well, does that air conditioner bother you? Or how come that air conditioner bother you? I mean, they'll say, well, how come that air conditioner don't bother you? You know, so it's like, well, I never said that every sound bothered me. You know, this thing comes off and on, but I would have like it's like I feel bad that I can't have control over it. Like it won't go constant. You know, it's like automatically, and I can't change it. You know, one of those air conditioners. I don't like those. You know, I want it to be either constant or But see, something like this can filter out. Like I prefer this, you know, because it can filter out some noise. You know, so this does not bother me, but it can filter out some noise. But I mean, the motorcycles is like a car. I mean, I'm sorry. The motorcycle is like the loud music that I cannot tune out because it's so loud that I can hear it over these. I can hear it over louder. The sound will go over these, over the sound of my waterfall sounds, and 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 then plus I can feel the vibrating. So it's impossible to tune out and ignore. And then people get mad at me that I can't ignore certain things. You know, and they get frustrated and mad at me. It's like you're mad at me for not ignoring, but you're not mad at the evil, wicked ones for you don't get mad at like you don't tell them to stop harassing, or you don't get mad at them for continuous harassing. I mean, instead of saying that they're childish for harassing me, they get mad and say I'm childish for being worried about it. You know, and it's like I feel emotionally beat myself up and feel like it's the end of the world and feel depressed and feel bad about the idea that I'm 36 years old and people say I'm mentally retarded and slow, even though they say I'm really smart, but they like I'm supposed to not be on the same level as other 36 year olds. See, they can be glorified as mentally normal, But I'm supposed to be made to feel like the stupidest person on this earth, that to be told that a 2-year old has more common sense than the foster mom herself used to try to bully, harass, and lecture me and say I act like a child, not act like a 2-year old, and that 2-year olds have more sense than me. You know, even the foster mom's son-in-law, Greedy Dykes Brian, tried to say about his own son, Ryan, because his son's name is Ryan. Um, so he said, Ryan, 2 years old, he got more sense than you. But now Ryan is 19. No, he's older than 19, probably 21 or something right now. But no, is he a? No, wait a minute. He's like 22, Ryan. Yeah. So that was 20 years ago. But I mean, I'm 20. I mean, I'm 36 years old, and it's like I don't like when people try to say you can't control what other people. You can't control other people, but you can only control yourself. Well, how come other people can control me then? Because if other people couldn't control me, then I wouldn't even be sitting in this hotel room. I would have my own house. I would not be harassed. I would not be gang stalked. If I had control over my life, I would be in a country different from America. You know, but they say that to try to control other people is Luciferian, and it's like trying to play God. Narcissistic abusers are Luciferian, and that's why a lot of them are sold out Freemason faggots. How the hell you an effeminate man? You're a weak and effeminate man, but then you a abusive bully that beats on women or beats on children and brag about it, and everybody's supposed to, you walk around and puff yourself up about like you puff yourself up as the man to be feared, but you don't beat other men. you know so it's like I would have the if nobody could control me. Now I feel like I would like the translation job better than the doctor job, you know. But I still like to learn more about, pregnancy and childbirth, and how the female and male human body anatomy and stuff. I always been interested in health. Period. Then I found natural health more fascinating, and then I got condemned for that. Remember I told you about my twin sister and the Illuminati and coconut oil being only that's all I talk about is Illuminati. No, that's not all I talk about. But it's like when narcissistic abusers, damned if I do, damned if I don't. They say they avoid me because I'm too negative. But then if I talk about survival, like me being excited about learning about survival skills, or like how to turn a cardboard box into an oven, or if I talk about how you can brush your teeth with coconut oil, or you can brush your teeth with um or how to make Soleil water salt, or how to make my own toothpaste, or if I talk about one time I talk about wanting to make soap, and my brother fake Krusty Pete try to say, oh, you can't go and sell soap. Now he want try to bully, harass, and lecture me about being too negative, and that I need to learn how to look in the mirror and love me. But then he said you can't make soap because that's very competitive and everybody is doing it. So yeah, you can't make soap, and if you do, your soap won't. No, ain't nobody gonna buy your soap, and your soap won't sell. you know. So, or if I talk about wanting to be a translator, Spanish translator, and now this has happened because I wanted to be one. Hell faced Shelley, the foster mom's daughter, and a few other people say, you can't go out there and just be a translator. You have to be fluent. You have to have experience. But then I was, me telling them the things that I was told that I have to do. Oh, you got no business, going to Costa Rica. Like, I was in my 20s and the foster mom thought she had the authority to restrict me from going to Costa Rica and tell me if you, she tried to make it like as if I'm not allowed to go to Costa Rica. A couple of years ago, my biological sister, that retard Ramona, forced me to quit the cab job. No, 2017. Then there was another lady forced me to quit the cab job. And yes, you can look it up. Coercive manipulation, or yes, somebody can psychologically and mentally force you to do something, you know, but who knows what suffering I would have had to do if I would have, you know, then I was gang stalked and didn't know I was gang stalked then, but gang stalked and driven to quit anyway with the cab job twice. Um, so it's like I wish I could do what I want that makes me happy, that doesn't harm people, but it's like I can't even get a roof over like a stable roof over my head. And if I do, it's like as I said, other people can control me, but I can't control nobody. I'm not trying to go and control nobody, but it's like how if people have that much power to control me, then I should be able to control them too. If people say, "Oh, you can't control no others," like that fake psychology and fake mental health, people say you can't control other people, but you can only control how you react to. But then those same people are condemning me for eating barbecue cheeseburgers back then, and bullying, harassing, lecturing me about junk food, and then they think that they can. I mean, the fake mental health counselor can try to control what food should be in my freezer, or the fake mental health people come to my house and try to dictate how I should arrange my shoes. If they're all lined up perfectly, no, that's not good enough. I'm gonna have these little things that you hang your shoes up on, and you should put your shoes outside rather. I'm like, these fake mental health people, narcissistic, controlling, freak abusers who are fake mental health psych nurses come to and fake social workers and fake psychologists come to my house and try to just dictate and control my house or my apartment and forcefully order me to clean my house, like this white lady named Beverly Twiggs was a narcissist. I didn't know it then, but now I know she was a narcissistic abuser. And I'm gonna do a separate video talking about her, but she like, what complete stranger. Now, I think Miss Beverly was a narcissistic abuser and a gang stalking perp, but I didn't know it back in 2011. So, you know, she come now. What stranger or mental health nurse who knows nothing about their first time visiting your house, and first thing she do is go walk and condemn me about the condition of my house. I was extremely depressed, and my house was not dirty or nasty, but just disorganized. And she would condemn me. And one of the first things she did was snoop, like as if she knew where my journals were, and walked and walk up and just open opened up and just started snooping through my journals, my handwritten journals, snooping through my journals, and then condemning me about the condition of my house and try to use fear. And she made it. She said, "I'm gonna have you evicted and homeless. She said, I'm gonna have you evicted and homeless." And then she tried to say that the condition of my house was a health hazard, a safety hazard, and what else? Some other kind of hazard, um, and stuff like that. And then when I confronted her, I said, "Yeah, you." And then she tried to say, "Now go out in the sunshine and have a nice day, rest of your day." I'm like, "How can I? And it's like when Miss Beverly and this lady in New York in the mental hospital. Every time I see them, my blood pressure, like you being that fearful, and the foster mom too, like being that fearful, or somebody that even resembles the foster mom, being that fearful of a narcissistic abuser, and a doggone not a man, but another female, being that fearful of the woman that I end up having a panic attack and my blood pressure go up by the sight of them. So I mean, I didn't know that at the time that Miss Beverly was a gang stalking perp and a narcissistic abuser and probably a witch, a cultic witch also. And I had to block Miss. I don't think I was able to block her number, but I quit opening the door for her and made her just waste her gas from coming all the way from Oklahoma to come to Denton, Texas, just to fuck with me, all in the name of so. And I'm like, how is this healing? How is this help? When you're making me feel worse, you know. So I know I rambled on and just freaking talked for nearly an hour, but it's helping me feel like the burden or the weight that's on my head weighing me down, for me to just talk it out is the weight and the burden is kind of lifted some, you know. So it's helping me feel a little better to just freaking talk it out when been stuffed everything in. So it's somebody else's opinion. You tell all your business. Well, tell other authors who've written autobiographies or who do blogs about their personal life. It's only considered telling all your business because the topic or the nature of the topic is considered negative. It's not. I mean, because these backpackers and stuff, who travel the world and they, document their experiences. Nobody's gonna say you tell all your business because it's considered a positive and great happy experiences, but because it's quote unquote negative, is why it's considered telling all. That's like when say if you eat a big fat salad or eat a whole bunch of like if you eat a lot of you know fruit, people ain't gonna call if you have a big ass salad. People will come in, yay, good, you're eating a salad. People ain't gonna condemn you. People not gonna call you greedy. They're not gonna call you greedy, and they're not gonna condemn you. They're not gonna call you greedy, and you get commended if you eat a big ass salad. Or if you say you eat a big salad and then you go for another salad, they ain't gonna condemn you. But if you eat one hamburger and then you go for a second hamburger, you get judged and condemned. And I have to hear a lecture about how greedy I am for having a second or they think I should, and they make a big scene. Narcissistic abusers make a big scene about how shameful it should be that I've eaten two hamburgers and think they have the authority to restrict me to just one hamburger. I'm 36 years old. If I want to eat 20 hamburgers, you don't have that right to tell me. It'll be my own hospital. I mean, I can't eat 20 hamburgers and I won't. But I'm just using that for an example. Damn it, you know, I'll be the one And then if I end up in the hospital, you're gonna act like you don't care anyway, and just leave me to suffer and die. And be like, oh, don't nobody feel sorry for her. She did that to herself. But see, me back then, I used to be an emotional eater, especially if somebody thought something bad about me, or somebody was rude to me, or had an attitude with me, or something like that. Then I would emotionally overeat. But now, after the past couple of years, even though I'm still overweight, but I can't do that no more. And now I'm sitting here counting how much sodium it is, or counting how much fat is on the label, and make sure I don't exceed my daily value limit. There they go again. It's fucking ridiculous. It's like at least eight of them. At least eight of them. And they probably permanently move here, or they're gonna be gone shortly after I leave. So they're gonna make sure I can't get any peace, or make sure I can't get sleep tonight. This doesn't work with the motorcycle harassment. My MP3 player it won't, because it's too loud, and it vibrate. And it's like, can't do. It's like I can't tune that out unless they stop doing it, or unless they go ride somewhere else. But it's too freaking late. It's almost 10 o'clock at night, and I don't care if it's Saturday. You did it last night too. You know, you can feel the damn floors rattling. Like whoever invented motorcycles, I hope that person is burning in hell. Cause dog, you got people like tortured and miserable. So evil bastards. Like just whoever. I mean, I'm not saying anything is wrong with chewing gum. Well, the chemicals in the gum is bad for you. But excuse me, people who abuse the gum with what I call the ignorant project ghetto fake satanic gum ignorance. That when people make the clicking noise with the gum, it makes me more mad when people say that they have that right to do that. Well, if you have a right to click gum very loud, then I should have a right to drive a car, you know, um, or I should have a right, And now with this coronavirus thing, people are mad because their rights are restricted. I heard some people are laughing because they say that narcissistic abusers are pretty much can't live with themselves because of the coronavirus thing. They said that that's the reason why domestic violence is increasing. Well, narcissistic abusers, you know, that they couldn't live with, they couldn't cope with, like they're the ones having freaking panic attacks and stuff like that. The same thing they say I need to be locked up for, but now they're having panic attacks and can't live with themselves because they would be on lockdown, or have to self quarantine, or they don't like the social distancing and stuff like that. They don't like to be controlled, but they want to control everybody else, you know. And then Donald Trump got mad because there were some people who would condemn him for not wearing a mask, but then eventually they got some, like somebody, I don't want to get the story mixed up, but then eventually he was made to wear a mask. I'm like, well, damn, people can tell the president what to do, you know. So, well, I heard they said presidents are puppets anyway. Like they say that even Obama and Bush and them were puppets, being told what to do by the higher ups with the shadow secret government. And I heard some people say that Bill Gates ain't the richest in the world, but he's the what the mainstream media wants us to believe is the richest in the world. I heard that they say Bill Gates is just a puppet and not actual royalty. I know I kind of got off topic, but speaking of royal family, I'm gonna show you how royal the light skinned mentally slow, crazy biological family. My little blog. No, my little blog. I'm gonna put the link to the blog post, not to promote my blog, but hey, if I did promote my blog, I mean, everybody else can do it. Like, just like if I promote my blog, people would get mad at that, like as if I'm doing something wrong. But other people promote their blog too, and they get praised for it. Like some other people, targeted or not, even if they're not targeted, if they're doing, videos for entertainment, and they can put their Cash App, PayPal, or whatever link, but when I do it, people frown upon me or they get mad. And I don't even, most videos, I don't put my Cash App or PayPal, but only if somebody asks, oh, what's your PayPal or whatever, and I give it to them. And there was a point in time when people would ask me for my PayPal, and then they stood me up and lied to me, and then I felt bad, when I was really down and in need and struggling. But you know, um, it's like I'm just trying to pick the pieces of the puzzle back up with my life and everything, and just feeling clueless, not totally clueless, but I'm having a little bit better understanding, you know. But I mean, it's just, I hate, just like from being a child, not my own child, but black people's lives. When black children get beat and abused and punished for stuff that's not even wrong. And now that I'm an adult and people get mad at me for stuff that's not even wrong, or they condemn me for doing stuff that if somebody else do it, it's okay, but when I do it, it's wrong, or something's wrong with that, or they have a big issue because it's me doing it. You know, so I know I have difficulty expressing myself, and I get distracted easily and stuff. I mean, I don't even know. I tried last summer to get that test done by the psychologist to see if I have get tested to see if I have Asperger's syndrome, but the man was perping me really bad and nearly succeeded at causing me to lose my temper on purpose so he can set me up to get locked up in a mental institution or jail. It's like he was a gaslighting fake perp psychologist, and they're hitting me with the energy weapons in my foot, my right foot, not the left one. That's how I know it's the energy weapons. And shucks, when I tell another targeted individual about on the phone or something about you know what a person, like every at least once every day they hit me in my left ear with a high pitched ringing for a few seconds. I mean, a high pitched sound for a few seconds, and they just now hit me in the right foot. You know, so even when I'm being hit with any energy weapons, don't you know other professed targeted individuals? Don't you know that they tell me that to ignore that? So I mean, there have people being literally cooked, fried, and destroyed. Like they had this targeted individual I saw. I think it was the day before yesterday. My feet, they be peeling sometimes, but this guy, it's like I couldn't believe how much it's like his skin was like super dry, and just peeling off and falling off of his feet, and it's like his feet are way worse than mine. Um, and I've seen videos of electronic harassment. I know it happened. I heard about it happen with Tila Tequila. Um, but it's like I saw one person on the video with targeted individuals, Mexico, and it's like it was a very short video of like a lot of blood coming out of her nose, and that really scared me because shortly after that, it was back in January, right before I got kicked out of that winter shelter. Um, I mean, shortly after that, my nose didn't bleed like hers, but my nose started bleeding shortly after I saw that video. My nose was bleeding. I don't really get nosebleeds. I did when I was a little kid. Um, Me and my twin sister. I don't know about my twin sister, but when I was a little kid, I used to wake up with bloody nose or bloody mouth or some indication that when I was a baby, like at 2 or 3 years old, even 4 years old, I would wake up with the indication that somebody beat the fuck out of this 2 year old little baby. Like somebody must have, beat me up. Like, and I wouldn't know. The foster mom never acknowledged or said anything about me being asleep and then wake up with a bloody nose, or me being asleep and wake up with a bloody lip, bloody mouth. You know, and I had a strange, unusual childhood that they say that early childhood abuse, like if I really was going through any ritual abuse, I don't have any memory of being molested by adults as a child, and I don't have any memory of being at any satanic events or satanic coven or nothing like that when I was little. Um, but I mean, don't you think I would have been still been continue to be molested or something? Um, but I don't have any recollection of that. You know, but me waking up with bloody mouth or bloody nose or waking up with bruises. Well, I know the cat named Tom used to scratch our legs and bite us, and that was doggone evil cat. And then the foster mom, that something happened to that cat. Tom died or something. Then there was another cat just like it named Tom and acted the same way. Cat Tom scratching people, and we wake up with a whole bunch of scratches on our legs. And when me and my twin sister were little kids, one time I think I may have told this story about my twin sisters called me and we were talking, having a conversation on the phone when we were on good terms. And she's like, remember when we used to float in the air? She asked me if I remember if we used to float in the air. And like we were little, I didn't know what was going. We didn't know what was going on, but I remember being young enough to be in a baby crib, and we used to levitate up in the air. But some people say there must have been some witchcraft or something going on in that house. And, you know, it happened more than once to us levitating in the air, and I don't know why or what caused it. I mean, babies can't have that kind of control. And then I remember being frightened of my twin sister's fat. No, you know how they had the fat. I had the Fat Albert doll, and my twin sister had the Bill Cosby doll. And I used to be frightened of the Bill Cosby doll, and one day I cut all his hair off, the Bill Cosby doll. Well, I tried to destroy that thing. um, and I remember like having a lot of one time I fell down the stairs. I think it happened a few times, fall down the stairs. I'm trying to remember some more, like early childhood events. Um, I think I did mention about the red and white, not in this video, in a different video, the red and white striped, uh, the red and white striped um outfit There was a one piece outfit, but it was shorts outfit. And I remember I was in kindergarten, and every time I wore that outfit, my stomach would hurt so bad that I would be like held over and crying. And that was the only outfit that I wore that had me crying, like had my made my stomach hurt for whatever reason. That I was crying, and you know, and I guess through my strange childhood, I ended up with a strange mind, you know, and people knew I was weird, you know, but it's like, but it's like as if I'm supposed to be blamed, or it's my fault that I turned out to be with the way I am, you know, that I'm just a burden, like my mere existence. I don't even have to say anything, but my mere existence is just a freaking burden on society. Like, like how am I supposed to be blamed for occultic or evil stuff that happened to me as a baby? Um, you know, I guess I don't know. It's like, um, just I know I'm just venting. You know, I mean, shucks, paying a counselor and I can't even tell my counselor all this. You know, like you pay a counselor and and it's like they're not even helping you. You know, these counselors, you pay these counselors that, and they get paid to not give a fuck about you, and they get paid to oppress you. You know, when the counselor, you pay the counselor and they rush you out their office. And I didn't realize that the mental health counselors were even gang stalking perps. That if my counseling session that I paid for was supposed to be an hour long, then they come 30 minutes late, but expect me to be on time, but come 30 minutes late and give me like only 10 minutes to talk, and then tell me that they have to leave early to prepare for the next client. And it's like I'm just bottling in all this hurt. You know, most people prefer to keep things in, but I'm the weirdo because I prefer to freely express my hurt. But people think that, oh, you're just trying to get attention, because if you've truly been through abuse, most abuse victims are ashamed and they don't. That's the stigma. That's the stigma that most people would rather stay silent about their abuse. Some people do, but some people should, like, just like you feel like a person have a right to pop their gum, well, I have a right to express what abuse I went through. So I know I talked for a long time, and if you, I mean, thank you for being there for me and being supportive of me. And I know, like, the Bible is, helping me, bit by bit to worry less about what other humans think about me. And then me finding out, knowing about the gang stalking, it's like knowing that it's like a wicked person can't judge you. Well, I mean, well, they do judge you, but they don't have that power or authority. When other human beings don't have the power or authority to condemn and judge you and inflict punishment on you, but they do it, you know. But it's like anything good that I try to achieve, like if it takes, you know, 10 steps to get somewhere, and with this targeting kind of life, by the time I'm at like 9.5 and just about to get to 10. That's when I get knocked back down, you know? And then I have to hear lectures from people about that nobody caused my failures in life but myself, and that I'm my own reason. They point in my face and yeah, like I'm 36 years old, and can you imagine a 14-year-old child who thinks they're grown pointing at 36-year-old pointing in my face and lecturing me? And if I stand up to them and say, "Look, don't point in my face," or that's when their parents, defend their child and want to try to handle me too. Rather than tell your child, "Well, look, she's older than you. She's an adult. You're a child. You stay in your place. You don't respect her." I used to be told that when I was that age. So now the tables are turning. And people, you know, like anybody can me being abused like this, like me being 36 and be told that a 14-year-old can tell me what to do. It seemed like as if um how the Bible talk about woe unto them that call good evil and evil good. Like when you say a person has a right to do evil, like how can you have a right to do evil? And then it's been drilled in my head so many times that okay, well I do deserve this, and maybe they are right, you know. But people might be like, well, and maybe what they did to you was evil, but they had that right, you know. It was evil, but they had that right. They had the right to do it. What gave you the authority or the right to confiscate my phone, for example? So it's like, I mean, I always have to hear lectures about how I have to follow the rules, follow the rules, follow the rules, and hear lectures about my behavior. Well, if I was such an angel and had so much light, why am I being lectured about bad behavior? If I'm an angel full of light, to me that's twisted, like conflicting information. So uh, I'm out of breath. No, not out of breath, but I kind of ran out of talk on this topic. But again, I'm trying to, like earlier today, I went, and when I went on my walk to go to fake Walmart for a little bit of grocery, I spent less than $15, on food to stretch me for the next, more couple of days. And so, you know, um, I tried to be like, okay, I'm gonna go outside and ignore the gang stalkers. See, they're outside talking loud and laughing. But me thinking and having flashbacks and thoughts about me being all by myself and disconnected with the targeted individual community, and feeling like I have nobody to reach out to, nobody to um express myself to. Like I had to just hold and bottle everything up. And it's like if I end up not having anybody supportive to talk to, somebody was telling me one time it was like a balloon that, like, the more hurt you go through and you just holding it in and you can't, that eventually it's like more air being put into a balloon, and then eventually when I'm holding all this, like, say all the hurtful, not just things to be said, but all the hurtful things done to me too, that everything being done, and I'm just sitting there and not saying anything, and eventually the balloon is gonna burst. And when a balloon bursts, that's the analogy of me having like an outburst or a meltdown. I get meltdowns too, and I'm just hypersensitive, and so um, it's like how can like people treat me like I'm too retarded to know left from right, but then if I have a if it's time for me to get in trouble, they hold me accountable like an adult. But then they treat me like I'm too retarded or too dumb to be able to make daily life decisions. That if you think that I'm not mentally capable to drive, people more retarded than me drive cars and get in their car and go drive every day. And nobody there to stop them. But I guess because they're not targeted and quote unquote retarded seen by society as retarded. And I thought this persecution I got is because of me being seen by society as retarded. And I thought I was the only person in this world being treated like this. And then I didn't know about the gang stalking thing. Um, so the idea of me being called retarded and being treated like a punished child with no rights, and then me being like people say talk about the people with disabilities being infantilized or infantilization of the disabled. They treat you like a punished child or whatever. You know, um, it's like being treated like a punished child with no rights, and then actually be told by the bully fat cops, you have no rights. you know. But everybody, he has a right to do this, and he has a right to do that. I'm like, well, what rights do I have? And the police officer got in my face and said, none. So, um, I don't know. It's like I walk around feeling like the only wrongdoer, the only criminal, and the only bad person in the world. Like, and it's like as if everybody else is more righteous and higher and better than me, or more authoritative than me. Well, I'm just the I mean, and I thought I was the only one just going through this persecution, abuse, and hate by everybody in society. And then I didn't realize about this gang stalking and targeted individual thing, that people who are seen by society as mentally normal are going through. But I mean, as I think I said it before, that other professed targeted individuals, they can still get in their car and go drive wherever they want. But you know, the perps tamper with their vehicle, but to actually outright not even allow, like not even let them, like not even like to completely prevent them from driving, period, you know, and then the abusive perp bus drivers try to look for ways to set up scenarios that I'll be banned from riding the bus. And then, as it's supposed to be a form of guilt, shame, and punishment, for me to be forced to walk everywhere as a punishment, you know. And it's like certain things that the foster, not only the foster, like especially when the foster mom tells me something, and then it carries over that somebody in California telling me the exact same thing, or somebody in Milwaukee, Wisconsin would tell me the exact same thing. That's when it make it like as if it's drilled in my head and I'm supposed to accept it as real or believe it. You know, that black man, that Haywood guy at Union Rescue Mission in Los Angeles that I call a separation torture mission. He tried to bully, harass, and lecture me, saying, nobody is going to hire you. And the foster mom used to tell me the same thing. Quite a few other people say the same thing. Nobody's gonna like. And the foster mom said that before my first job. Nobody's gonna hire you. But my twin sister got a job like that, and people were hiring her. You know. So let me go. It's I've been talking for like an hour, just about an hour and a half. Thanks for listening, and for you few little people, thanks for being supportive, and thanks for not getting aggravated and annoyed, and thanks for not getting aggravated, thanks for not getting annoyed, and thanks for not getting tired of me, and thanks for having patience, and thanks for having a heart and compassion, and thanks for understanding. I love y'all, and bye.